It was savage. He left that man sitting at that bar with a broken heart and an empty glass. God dang. Hi guys, welcome back. If it's your first time, my name is Talia Adewale and this is DISBYDEM. I'm talking about The Boyfriend Season 2, which wrapped up, I think, February of this. Oh, it just wrapped up actually. Oh, okay. So I wasn't too late to the game. I thought that I came in late. Do all the right things if you're on YouTube, hype the video, and let's just get into the review recap. I just wrapped up the season, so if you want reactions, they're gonna be on Patreon. Link is in the description. All episode 1s are free as usual, so feel free to run there and check them out, as well as some other shows. But yeah, like I said, I just wrapped up the reactions on this one, and I started this with Love's Chance. I wanted to be doing review recaps of the seasons that I watched for YouTube. That way it also, you guys know on YouTube that I actually watch these shows, and they're just, the reactions are not on YouTube, they're on Patreon. Regardless, I did do reviews for season 1. We started this together, we watched season 1 together, and we talked about it together. And obviously the most polarizing character in season 1 was Shun, who I really just started pissed off. I was angry. I understood, empathized, and had, I felt for him. However, I did not excuse his past, did not have to excuse his behavior, and that was the thing that bugged me the most. But by the end of it, I was down, man. I was like, damn, Shun for life. Now let's get into season 2. A little synopsis for people who don't know what the show is about. Oh no, I'm not gonna read that. This season shifts its setting to a winter time in Hokkaido. I can't remember where they were in season 1, but this time they were in Hokkaido, where 10 men stay together in a cozy lodge dubbed the Green Room. It was also the Green Room in season 1. Surrounded by a blanket of white snow, they begin to discover both what they want in a relationship and who they hope to become as partners. From hitting the slopes together to sharing intimate conversations in a makeshift igloo, the Winter Wonderland becomes the perfect place for love to grow. Over 15 episodes, the budget went up because the season 1 was 10 episodes, guys. In fact, when I started watching it, I didn't know it was 15. I was almost halfway through when I realized, and I was like, God damn it. Oh, geez, no me. Anything more than 12 is pushing the limit, y'all. Because I don't know what we're doing here. I understand why this had to be 15 though, because the time was longer this time around. They had 2 months. I don't believe they had 2 months in season 1. I think maybe it might have been like 6 weeks, maybe a month. I don't think it was 2, but they had 2 months this time around, which really gave men a lot of time to consider, ponder, and really get to know each other. It was kind of lovely. So over 15 episodes, the housemates hope to develop slow burn connections that are worth the wait, much like the drip coffee they serve. So they have this scenario where they drive the bus and they sell coffee. Every shift you choose who you want to go with, and you can either choose somebody you like or you choose somebody you want advice from. It just depends on your state of mind or the scenario. But they do go sell coffee every day, I think, for maybe about 6 weeks in total. I think they are selling coffee almost every day. So the age range for the guys was 20 to 40. 40 was a curveball, because 40 was the oldest that we've seen on The Boyfriend. I think last season 35 was the oldest. I mean, it's not that much of a leap. And looking at Kazuyuki, you don't even think he's 40. In fact, he looked so young, vampire nature-esque. He was one of my favorites. The men lived together for 2 months in the hopes of forming lasting bonds and maybe even finding the boyfriend of their dreams. One thing that I appreciated about this season was that it wasn't just about romance. It wasn't just about love. They had people who came to the house for like growth, for self-esteem. Kazuyuki, who we just mentioned, who was the 40-year-old, the oldest guy in the house, came for self-reflection. He just got out of a 15-year relationship. Honestly, if it didn't end the way it ended, I would have called bullshit. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you can't move on from a 15-year relationship, but to have broken up just last year, to come here looking for something to potentially replace what you've had for the last 15 years, there's no fucking way. I'm sorry. But in the end, it became a thing of reflection on my previous relationship, considering whether or not I want to be back with this person or move on. And I really like that. There were people who came to terms with who they are. There were people who were trying to figure out their coming out stories to their parents. Like, it wasn't just about romance. And I think it was done so well. So well. They really did allow the men space and time to deal with whatever it is that they wanted to deal with. And I really appreciated that about the show. So like I said, it was 10 singles. Obviously, there's the Maggie situation where halfway through they bring people in. But the original, I think they started with 7 or so. I can't really remember. We had Jobu, Isaiah, Hue, Bomi, William, Hiroya, Kazuyuki. They started it off, and then later on they introduced us to Ryuki, who's the youngest member. He was 20 years old. Taehoon came back from season 1, and then Tomoaki. Oh, Tomoaki became one of my favorite ones by the end of it. He was somebody who came more to like get to know himself better and come to terms with who he is, you know, as a queer person in Japanese society, and just build that self-esteem for himself. At first I was like, I don't want to deal with it, because it looked like it was going to be this self-deprecating action going on where, oh, I'm so stupid, I hate myself, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. That's what I thought I was going to get. So to be honest, I'd written off Tomoaki from the first time that we saw him. Nothing against him. Even though I can empathize, I don't resonate with that kind of personality, so I just kind of stay away from it, to be honest. But he proved me wrong. Oh, did he prove me wrong? Humble pie egg. Like, I cleaned the plate, guys, because Tomoaki showed us that he had personality. He opened up so well, and I was so proud of him in the end there. So proud. He became one of my favorite people, and I'm so happy. I hope he comes back for season 3, because now that he has dealt with whatever it is that he wanted to deal with on a personal level, I hope that when it comes to romance, not like I'm hoping that he sits around single until season 3, but if he does happen to be single, I hope that they bring him back for season 3, because he was phenomenal. Now let's get into some of the couples and triangles that were formed in the beginning. Lord have mercy, I'm hungry, guys. I need to go chow. From the beginning of the episodes, everybody came in, we found out that Bomi and Hue knew each other from university. Apparently they'd had dinner, but nothing excuse me, nothing developed from there, but they have previous, awareness of each other. They know each other. We also find out that Isaiah and William also knew each other like from 3 years ago. They actually dated. We find out later on that they dated, but nothing came out of it. At first we are told that what's the name? At first we are told that William ghosted Isaiah. And at first, Isaiah is looking like a very sus person in the beginning. To me, I was calling BS on a lot of things, guys. In the beginning, I wasn't really trusting Isaiah. He does grow on me, though. Does he grow on me? He grew on me so much that when he left, I cried, guys. I actually cried. I was sad to see Isaiah go. So we had that situation. So these two couples knew each other, Hue and Bomi, and Isaiah and William. So they then proceed to focus on Isaiah and William for like 8 episodes straight, and I was over it. I was done. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Isaiah to be happy, but I think because I just didn't care for William, I just didn't care for it. William always had one more thing that he needed to add to the roster of problems that they had. Always had one more thing. Isaiah had done everything save for slit his wrist for this guy. And there was always one more doubt, one more insecurity, one more this, one more that. And when you're at the end of it, you're like, what do you want from this boy? What do you want? You're the one who's holding you guys back. You are the one. You are the one. That's right. Can you tell that William was not my favorite? And to be honest, it's not like William is a bad person. I don't think that. I just think that he seeks trouble, and he just wants that I guess, I don't know, I really don't know how to explain. He just wants those problems in their relationship that they can overcome. He wants to be overcoming, and sometimes it's okay. It's okay not to have problems in your relation. You don't need to be overcoming. What are you, the overcomer? Like, it just drove me crazy. But that was who Isaiah liked. So unfortunately for me, I had to just bite my mouth and support the boy because I liked Isaiah, right? There was also this triangle thing going on because Jobu liked William, and no matter how much Jobu tried, there was no getting in between Isaiah and William. It was just the way it was. And for me, I think Jobu dodged the bullets, to be perfectly frank and candid. Guys, it's not personal. It's not personal, but I do think that Jobu dodged the bullet with Isaiah. No. Oh, no. With William. And I really hope for Isaiah's sake that William does not drop the ball, because I think Isaiah is so deserving. So deserving. And he, excuse me, was so, like, earnest and so, what's the word, sincere about his love for William and the way he showed up for William. I hope that William can do that for him in the future, and I hope that he does. Even on Patreon, the one person that was watching it to me on Patreon, shout out Goldilocks, I think it's Sheon Ajibode. I feel like that might be you. I might be wrong. Maybe I'll double check this, but I feel like it's Sheon who is Goldilocks. Let me know in the comments. Even said that they did not trust William as well in their relationship, that it just seemed like William might be the problem, and if things don't work out, it will definitely be because of William. I don't think Isaiah can take that. I don't think Isaiah will survive one more heartbreak from William. I feel like this was the end of be all for Isaiah. I think Isaiah was like, if this doesn't work, then it's all for naught, you know? But it is what it is. So that triangle broke down. William and Isaiah chose each other, and they left, I think, maybe about 5 or so weeks into the experiment. They coupled up, got out of Dodge. The next triangle that we see was Hue, Bomi, and Hiroya. So Hiroya liked Hue, but Hue seemed to like Bomi. It didn't seem like that in the beginning, but all of a sudden Hue is like, yeah, I think Bomi is the one for me. Like, directly tells Hiroya, I don't like you like that. And I was like, god damn. Hiroya did ask though. Hiroya did, do not ask questions that you don't want the answer for. And even though I appreciate the honesty from Hue, I just thought that it was savage. It was savage. He left that man sitting at that bar with a broken heart and an empty glass. God dang. It was savage, but at least Hiroya knew where he stood. Hue and Bomi do go on to try and further their relationship, but nothing actually comes to the head until the very end. I do think they have potential, though. They do couple up by the end of the story, but they waited to the very last day. I do think they have potential to have a lasting relationship. There's just some communication things that they have to iron out. Hue is very much the kind of person where he's a big softie, but he really doesn't know how to emote. I think that's the best way I can describe it. So even till the end, Bomi was doubting whether Hue liked him or not. And it's like, Hue is not complicated. If he tells you he likes you, he means it, and that's just it. He just expects that you understand that he likes you no matter what he's doing for somebody else. There was this scenario where Hue went to Thailand, and when he came back, he bought Dorian for Ryuki because he had gone out on dates with Ryuki way back when nothing came out of it, so they knew each other before. But Bomi got jealous for that. It's not like Ryuki liked Dorian. I felt like it was more of a punishment than anything. The poor boy did not even enjoy the gift, you know. But Bomi felt some type of way because of the thought that was behind the souvenir, right? This place is so dry. Jeez Louise. Because of the thought that was behind the souvenir. In Bomi's mind, it's like, oh, you were actually thinking about Ryuki. That's why you went out of your way to get him something. Doesn't matter what it is. What about me? You already said that you liked me before you left. So how come you weren't thinking about me? How come I didn't get something special? And Bomi is 23. Let's clock that. So while I was watching that, I was like, okay, still young. He will learn. Because for me, there was nothing behind it. I get the mindset from where Bomi was coming from. I get it. You will feel some type of way. But considering that it was more a punishment for Ryuki than a gift, I would have let it go. Again, 13 years on the boy. A lot of experience in between that, right? So like for me, I could process it. But at 23, I guess that I would probably feel the same way that Bomi felt, right? So I understood where he was coming from. But I was just like, just talk to him. Because Bomi was complaining, not really complaining, he was expressing himself to the other house members about how he's not certain about how Hue feels for him. And I was like, this conversation that you're having here, go and have it with Hue. because that's where you guys will break down. You need to understand each other and be able to communicate with each other so that things like this don't happen. Because who is the kind of guy, and I made that comment, I was like, who is the kind of guy that you walk up to him and say, I want to break up, and you just be like, okay. And he will walk away. He's very uncomplicated. He uses his brain for all the 700 languages that he speaks and his thesis and all these other things in his mind. So romance for him is very straightforward. And that's where I think they have to come to a concession, and they have to come to an understanding, where they communicate with each other and understand each other's love styles is basically it. But I do think Hue and Bomi have potential. Then we move on to I think the last potential couple and triangle. So Taehoon joins, and Taehoon, Jobu had already said before, Jobu and Hiroya had already said, because they've been talking about season 1, they'd already said earlier that Taehoon was one of the ones that they liked from season 1, and lo and behold, he walks through the doors. So now Jobu is like, okay, he's here, I'm so excited, couldn't even continue, he didn't know how to react. So Jobu asks Hiroya to run the food truck with him, the coffee truck with him. First chance he got. It was one of the worst dates I've ever seen on any of them. Straight up, probably number 1. I don't know what was wrong with Taehoon that day. I just don't know. I don't know if he was on his period. I don't know what it is. I apologize. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but like, I know how I feel when Lady Robot comes. You know how your emotions are just... He was just a stone cold bitch during that shift. I'm not even joking. Even Jobu, who is like one of the most jovial people we've ever seen on our television, like, just he's enough without being a lot. That's the best way I can put it. I don't like people who are a lot. Like, if you're happy 24/7, leave it away. It's not my business. I don't want you to be sad 24/7. But if you can't regulate, get away from me, because you will get slapped. But Jobu he lights up a room without being overpowering, and he's just one of the best personalities we've seen, personally, that I've seen on any of these reality TV shows, right? But even he was stumped on that day because he didn't know how to connect with Taehyun. Taehyun just sat there like a robot that his battery was like running out, and I was like, oh my god, did somebody annoy him? Like, what happened? So it started out as a very horrible date, and Jobu didn't know what to do after that. But Hiroya was also in the mix, because Taehyun said that he was considering 2 people, Jobu and Hiroya. So Hiroya was also in the mix. So I think even when Hiroya had a chance, yeah, they did run the coffee shop together. They really connected. What it is about Hiroya is that I feel like he was attracted to Taehyun because Taehyun comes from like the same kind of background as him when it comes to like their profession. Hiroya is this artistic guy who, does creative designs with like a 3D printer. He was printing things from sunset to sundown, or sun up to sundown throughout the entire show. So he's that kind of creative. That's what he does. I think that's what he does for his work. And then Taehyun is also a creative director. So they understand the culture. It's the hoity-toityness of it all. Let's just put it that way, right? And I felt like Hiroya thought that, or felt like Taehyun will understand. He could talk to him about work. They could, go to the same kind of places, like the classy, just that kind of thing. And maybe he was attracted to him. However, as things developed, I felt like Taehyun was more attracted to Jobu in the sense of romance. Like, he could be very close to Hiroya, but I felt like there was no attraction there whatsoever. So after that bad date with Jobu didn't know what to do, but Taehyun would always approach him. Maybe Jobu will be sitting on a chase lounge or something, and Taehyun will come and sit down behind him. He was just sending signals, and you kind of realize throughout the whole thing that Taehyun is more of a doer. He doesn't really communicate his emotions well. He's kind of dead like that in the robot sense, but he will show you. So even when it was his choice to choose, it was a choice between Hiroya and Jobu, because both of them had said, we want this date with Taehyun. Taehyun chose Jobu, and throughout that entire date, when they'll be talking, no emotion on his face. I'm like, oh my days, it will drive me nuts. But when push comes to shove, he is the one who in the sauna sat down and pulled Jobu close. So Jobu sat in front. He was the one who would always make the move. He would go over to Jobu in the bed, say good night or hold his hand. He pulled Jobu closer. He told Jobu, look this way, and he kissed Jobu. Like, so he's more of just, I'll show you that I like you rather than say that I like you, is the best way that I can describe Taehyun, right? And I don't remember Taehyun from season 1. It sucks to say. I remember his face, but I don't remember his journey. So I can't really say if this was how he was. But the hosts were calling him. They were like, yeah, it's the princess nature of him. That's just how they react. Like, sometimes they want to be coaxed, and sometimes they want to be the one coaxing. It's just the way it is. So in the end, Hiroya does give Taehyun an out. He takes him out for one last date and basically says, you know what, I'm very happy for you two. If that's what you decide, that's great, because I have great love for Jobu. They've created this friendship. Basically gives Taehyun an out to say, you're not the one for me. I really respected Hiroya throughout his entire journey, because this man tried. You know who Hiroya reminded me of? I think it's G1. Was it G1? I think it's G1, right? From Hat Pairing. The one with the the most beautiful girl on the cast, let's put it that way, who first tried to get with Jimin, right? Yes, and he was just slapping her with the other girl's name left, right, and center, and then tried to get with the pilot. That didn't work out and ended up with the artist, the painter. That girl, can't remember her name. I think it's G1, but I can't remember her name. That's who Hiroya reminded me of. The man did his best on this show. He gave it his all. He did. And I commend him, because it's not easy to get shut down in love one after the other. Like, person you like says no directly, another person showing you that they're not interested. Like, he did his best, and I really respected him and I liked him, and he was one of my favorites by the end of the show. I thought that this season was solid. I really do. There is potential for the people who came out as couples. I'm rooting for 2 of them, 2.5. Can I root for half of a couple? I don't know what William did, guys. I just don't trust him. And I've learned to trust my gut. If it works out for them, fantastic, you know. If it doesn't, I really hope that Isaiah can bounce back and find someone who will treat him the way he needs to be treated, right? But there's just something about William that gives me pause. And I just choose to trust my instincts when it comes to things like this. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. These people's lives do not affect mine in any way, shape, or form, right? But it is a reality show, and we are commenting on it, so I am just commenting on it. I would say the people that stood out to me throughout the entire thing: Jobu, Kazuyuki, definitely, Hiroya, Isaiah, Tomoaki. Those 5, absolutely. In fact, I might put Isaiah last, because even though he's one of my favorites, I think the growth that happened for Tomoaki was way more than anything that happened with Isaiah. And I have to rate Tomoaki for the amazing progress. The amazing progress he showed on this show. I absolutely fell in love with this character. God almighty. And I think it hit me harder because I wasn't expecting to like him so much. Season 2 was fantastic. The men that were chosen, the dynamic of the cast, the hosts' interaction. I thought that the hosts were vibing absolutely phenomenally. I loved Shiaki's style, that blonde cropped hair. She was killing it. Megumi is always a fantastic host. Whatever she does, I think that she's great. Yoshimi, the male host, apart from Dorian, he had some questionable commentary when it came to lying about your spouses, but it's neither here nor there. We move on from it. But I thought season 2 hit it out of the park. If I had to rate it, it would be a solid 9, guys. I think they did so well. It was so well balanced, so well executed. Editing was fantastic. And in the end, the couples that came out of it, I respected. I wasn't actually too mad. Like I said, I'm rooting for 2.5 of them. Oh my days. I'm sorry, I'm rooting for all of them. I'm especially rooting for Kazuyuki, who went back to his partner, because every time Kazuyuki every time he described his partner, the partner sounded amazing. I think they just needed this time apart to figure it out and come to a final consensus that they were going to be together, and that's what happened, and I was so overjoyed. I was really happy. But all in all, fantastic season. Again, if you guys want reactions, they are on Patreon, so check that out if you like. But shout out to again everyone who came along with me. I don't know how many people have watched it by now on Patreon. I'm not sure when this review is going up. It goes up when it goes up, guys. I cannot be bothered. But thank you so much, and thank you for all the support, guys. You guys have been amazing. I hope you're loving the content that's coming out so far. There should be a ton of stuff coming out with Hamza, and you guys have always shown your support, so I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, do all the right things, hype the video, hype the review, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles!